Ferrari's FXX-K isn't just another hypercar, it's the kind of machine most people will never see outside of glossy posters or the rare sighting at an exclusive track event. Built as a track-only weapon, it represents the peak of Ferrari's design language, with details so sharp and futuristic that even rival automakers take notes. So imagine the uproar when a German tuner, Mansory, rolled out a body kit for the Ferrari 488 GTB that looked suspiciously like Ferrari's halo car. Dubbed the 4XX Siracusa, the kit borrowed heavily from the FXX-K's most recognizable elements: the sculpted V-shaped hood, the bold front strakes, and that race-ready bumper design. For Ferrari, this wasn't flattery, it was theft. And for Mansory, it was business as usual, shocking the car world by pushing the limits of customization, even if it meant poking the Prancing Horse right in the eye. But this wasn't just about wild styling. What happened next would take the fight from the garage straight into the courtroom. Ferrari isn't exactly known for letting things slide. Over the years, they've built a reputation for protecting their brand as fiercely as they build their engines. When Mansory's 4XX Siracusa hit the scene, Ferrari's legal team took one look and saw more than a flashy body kit. They saw their intellectual property being copied piece by piece. The case made its way to the Court of Justice of the European Union, where Ferrari argued that even if the FXX-K was a rare track car, its design deserved protection. What's fascinating is that Ferrari didn't just claim ownership of the car as a whole. They zoomed in on specific parts, like that distinctive V-shaped hood insert and the angular bumper details, saying these elements were unique enough to be defended under European design law. In October 2021, the court sided with Ferrari, a landmark ruling that confirmed even unregistered designs could be shielded if they were distinct and recognizable. For Mansory, it was a legal roadblock. For Ferrari, it was a statement. If you mess with the Prancing Horse's identity, expect a fight in court. But if Ferrari thought this verdict would slow Mansory down, they were in for a surprise. The tuner's next move wasn't retreat, it was doubling down with even wilder projects. Most people assume that only a full car design can be copyrighted, but Ferrari's battle with Mansory proved otherwise. The court highlighted that individual pieces of a design, when they're distinctive enough, are just as valuable as the whole. Think about it. The sharp V carved into the FXX-K's hood isn't just a random detail, it's a visual signature that instantly screams Ferrari. The same goes for those aggressive front strakes and the bumper's layered geometry. They're like the car's fingerprint, recognizable at a glance, impossible to mistake. By ruling these elements protected, the court essentially gave Ferrari the green light to shield its brand DNA from being cloned, even by aftermarket tuners. For car enthusiasts, this case was a revelation because it showed how design law could be wielded to protect not just complete vehicles, but the artistry within them. Ferrari had drawn a line in the sand. Creativity is fair game, but crossing into imitation of their iconic cues is a legal no-go. And yet, while Ferrari was celebrating a courtroom win, Mansory was busy cooking up something that would spark an entirely different kind of controversy. The Purosangue, but not as Ferrari intended. When Ferrari launched the Purosangue, it was already a controversial move, an SUV from a brand built on low-slung supercars, but Ferrari kept it sleek, elegant, and unmistakably theirs. Then Mansory got hold of it, and subtlety went right out the window. Enter the Pugnator, a creation draped in forged carbon fiber with so many scoops, vents, and fins that it looked more like a spaceship than an SUV. Wide fenders, oversized air intakes, and an enormous rear diffuser turned Ferrari's family car into something straight out of a video game. Some fans were horrified, calling it a design offense, while others loved the sheer audacity. That's the paradox of Mansory. Whether you think it's genius or grotesque, you can't ignore it. For Mansory's loyal clients, ultra-wealthy collectors who crave attention, this was exactly the point. If Ferrari's Purosangue whispered sophistication, Mansory's version screamed for the spotlight. But Mansory wasn't done yet. Just months later, they took the Purosangue even further, unleashing a version that draped the controversy in Italy's own colors. As if the original Pugnator wasn't wild enough, Mansory went back to the drawing board and cranked the shock factor to 11. The result was the Pugnator Tricolor Ray, revealed in 2025. This wasn't just a modified Ferrari SUV, it was a rolling statement draped head to toe in Italy's national colors. Bright green, white, and red stripes slashed across its body, turning the already polarizing design into something impossible to miss. The rear featured dual wings stacked like a race car parody, while the diffuser grew even more aggressive, with quad exhaust tips poking out like cannons. Inside, the theme continued. Stitched tricolor accents on the seats, carbon fiber everywhere, and detailing that left no doubt about its over-the-top intentions. Car critics called it the ugliest Ferrari ever made, while fans of Mansory saw it as bold art that thumbed its nose at tradition. Love it or hate it, the Pugnator Tricolor Ray did what every Mansory build is meant to do: spark conversation and push Ferrari purists to the edge. And that's what makes this feud so fascinating. It isn't just a legal battle, it's a cultural clash between refinement and rebellion. But to really understand the tension, you have to look at why these extremes matter so much in the world of supercars. On the surface, this feud might look like nothing more than flashy body kits and bruised egos. But beneath it lies a much deeper question. Who really controls the identity of a car once it leaves the factory? For Ferrari, every curve, crease, and vent is part of a carefully protected legacy. They see design as sacred, tied to decades of racing history and brand prestige. That's why they go to court, because to them, allowing someone to copy or distort those details risks watering down the Ferrari name. Mansory, on the other hand, represents the opposite philosophy. Their business thrives on ripping up the rulebook, pushing cars to extremes, and serving wealthy clients who don't want subtle, they want outrageous. In that sense, the clash isn't just Ferrari versus Mansory, it's heritage versus rebellion, purity versus provocation, and it's a dynamic that keeps the car world buzzing, because every time Mansory unveils something shocking, Ferrari purists and customization fans collide in the loudest debates online. And those debates only get fiercer when you look at how the car community itself reacts to Mansory's creations. If you want to measure the cultural shockwave of a Mansory build, you don't look at the showroom, you look at the internet. Every time they drop a new creation, forums, Reddit threads, and YouTube comment sections light up like fireworks. Ferrari fans often call it sacrilege, joking that Mansory turns rolling art into a toy kit gone wrong. One viral Reddit comment summed it up perfectly. Ferrari sues people for diluting their brand. Meanwhile, Mansory is gleefully turning them into Corollas with Wings West body kits. On the flip side, there's a small but passionate group that sees Mansory as visionaries. Artists unafraid to push boundaries that others won't dare touch. Even mainstream auto outlets can't resist weighing in, often dubbing their designs the ugliest car ever, while secretly admitting that the controversy guarantees clicks. And that's the secret ingredient. Mansory thrives on polarization. In today's car culture, being unforgettable, whether loved or hated, is often more powerful than being universally admired. But while the memes keep flying, the bigger question remains. Where does this feud go from here? Is Ferrari gearing up for more legal fights, or will Mansory keep pushing until they cross another line? The Ferrari-Mansory clash isn't just a one-off, it feels more like the opening round of an ongoing saga. Ferrari has already shown they're willing to go to court to defend even the smallest details of their cars, and it wouldn't be surprising if more lawsuits surface down the line. After all, if they let one tuner blur the lines, What's to stop others from trying the same? On the other side, Mansory shows no signs of slowing down. In fact, the legal battles almost add to their mystique. Every headline about Ferrari suing only feeds their image as the rebellious outsider thumbing its nose at tradition. For buyers who want to stand out, that kind of notoriety is priceless. The real question is whether Ferrari will double down on their exclusivity, perhaps tightening control over aftermarket modifications, or whether they'll quietly tolerate the noise as long as their own sales and prestige remain untouched. Either way, the feud highlights a bigger truth. In today's supercar world, brand image can be as valuable as horsepower. And that brings us to the heart of the story, because beyond the lawsuits and the memes, this feud asks every car enthusiast a simple but provocative question. At its core, the Ferrari versus Mansory feud is about more than cars. It's about identity. Ferrari has spent decades cultivating an image of precision, elegance, and exclusivity. Mansory, on the other hand, thrives on excess, provocation, and turning heads at all costs. One side guards its legacy with lawyers, the other builds its reputation by tearing up tradition, and in the middle are car enthusiasts, divided between admiration and outrage. Some see Mansory as villains ruining masterpieces, others view them as fearless rebels challenging an industry that often plays it safe. The truth is, both sides need each other. Ferrari's prestige makes Mansory's work shocking. Mansory's outrageousness makes Ferrari's refinement look untouchable. Together, they create a cycle of tension that keeps the supercar world buzzing. So the next time you see a Ferrari dressed in wild carbon fiber, dual wings, and neon accents, ask yourself, is this a crime against art or a new form of it? In the end, it's not just about which side you choose, it's about the fact that you can't look away. And before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, tap the bell so you never miss the next drop, and give this video a like if you enjoyed the ride. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Ferrari versus Mansory down in the comments. Whose side are you on? And as always, whether you're in a Ferrari, a Mansory, or just your daily driver, stay safe out there and keep it between the lines.